Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. With that, let's get you up to Nashville and Nissan Stadium. For the call, we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
By many accounts, Coach, one of the most underrated home venues in all of the NFL resides in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where we find ourselves at Nissan Stadium. This crowd here fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced. This should be a good one as the Titans get set to match up with the Houston Texans. From the booth, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. And Charles, this AFC South, the only division with 3 teams over 500 a year ago. Now here in 2019, this may be the most wide-open division in the National Football League.
In addition, it's a really improved division because for years, remember, Indianapolis ran this division. Then Houston popped up and they took over. Jacksonville almost went to the Super Bowl just 2 seasons ago. And Tennessee was in the playoffs 2 years ago and almost got back there again last year. You're exactly right. This is a wide-open division. Should be a fun one to watch.
Here's the former UCLA Bruin, Kaimi Fairbairn, to get this one started. And off we go from Nashville. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Tennessee Titans take the field. Ryan Tannehill, the starting quarterback. And since being named the starter back in Week 7, Titans are 6-1, Charles. They're also tied for the second most offensive touchdowns and have the second most points in the NFL during that stretch per game at 31.4.
How about that? And for many people coming into the season, Ryan Tannehill back up to Marcus Mariota. Would he be a good backup and maybe have a chance to find another team next year was the thought process. He may very well have found his team right there in Nashville with the Tennessee Titans because he's executing at a high level. Taking care of the football, making big throws when necessary off of their heavy run offense, and playing the game the way that their head coach Mike Vrabel wants it played. He's going to be a defense-first guy. That's his background. He doesn't want his offense to mess it up, and this offense is actually thriving.
Yeah, and the Week 14 win over Oakland took him just 21 completions to get to 391 yards and 3 touchdowns. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Now a first-time 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago. It's Derrick Henry shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
I remember watching Derrick Henry come out of Alabama and sitting with some scouts, and one of the debate points with him was, while at Bama, how often did he have to deal with contact near the line of scrimmage? They were so good up front that he often got to the second level pretty easily. I think he's starting to answer those questions with runs like that. He's a physical guy.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 46. Henry. They'll get only a couple down to the 44. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
Many times as we open the game, we talk about guys who are drafted in the first round, but how about the undrafted players? In this case, safety Tashawn Gibson, who's made the most of his time in the NFL, becoming a starter in the league, and since 2012 has 20 interceptions, the most for undrafted players in that time frame.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to throw, Tannehill. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Michael Pruitt, the big tight end, is intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. To throw is Tannehill. Sets up the screen to Lewis. He's got the first down here inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 27-yard line.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially as pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
On the double.
Mike 5. Here we go, G. Hey, it's just me and you.
Go. Ready?
This is Dion Lewis now in his 9th NFL season. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 24, Tannehill. That's complete to his tight end, Fertzer. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. A 24-yard touchdown. And the Titans take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive.
In both locker rooms, the coaches talked about setting the tone early. Didn't matter whether you started on offense or defense. In this case, the team that had the ball first did exactly that. Took it right downfield and scored.
Ryan Suckup on for the point after. And this is good. Our score, 7-0 Tennessee. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And the result in the end, a Titans touchdown. Now it's Ryan Suckup on after the touchdown to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Texans under their 6th-year head coach, Bill O'Brien. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field, and that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now Watson. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
Have no idea what they're putting in the food in the Martin household, but they've developed 2 terrific offensive linemen. Brother Zach, a perennial all-pro at guard with the Dallas Cowboys, but Nick, no slouch at center for the Houston Texans. He sets the tone for their offensive line. He's the pivot up front.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Here's a guy on his 4th franchise in 2 years, Carlos Hyde. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So following the run by Hyde, here's 1st and 10.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Now a handoff here to his running back. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
What you got, huh?
A look at the defensive starters for Tennessee.
Kenny Vaccaro is an excellent player. Can cover in the slot, but his best attributes, tackling people and rushing the quarterback.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
You're not ready. You're not ready.
The toss play. This is Hyde. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Got an extra defensive back out there for the Titans now here for 3rd down.
You got him.
From the 50, it's Watson. He can run for it, and he will. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. They'll try the air now with Watson, and that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
50 is set. 19.
On 1st down, it's Watson. Open man, the tight end falls. And here he'll get it down to the 7. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Hyde. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab as his guys are on the board here in this 1st quarter. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. That time a 9-play drive, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This one fielded at the 5. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Okay, so the football going back over to the Tennessee Titans. Let's resume talking about their 8-5 record. We mentioned the victory over Oakland in Week 14. 552 yards of offense in that game. The most total yards they've had in a game since, get ready for this, they were the Oilers way back in 1991, CD.
Wow, averaged 37.5 points during this 4-game winning streak. This offense has come from finding their identity. You know, like a good actor that says, what's my motivation? What's their identity? Running the football with Derrick Henry, throwing off a play action. You think they like their rookie draft pick out of Ole Miss, A.J. Brown? He's played awfully well for them on the perimeter. And right now, this team is dangerous, and they are hot. Home against Houston, a big divisional game. Home against New Orleans, and then at Houston in a game that could settle the AFC South.
On second down now, it's Lewis. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Tannehill. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
On 4th down, here's the AFC Pro Bowl punter the last 2 years. That's Brett Kern to kick it for Tennessee. DeAndre Carter's deep for the Texans. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. As Houston comes back out here on offense, Charles, it's got to be a frustrated team right now after that loss at home to Denver in Week 14, 38-24. They got down early, big, and couldn't really overcome that deficit. You know, you think about it, they beat New England. They have Tennessee coming up in Week 15. I don't know that you have trap games in the National Football League, but if there is such a thing, maybe this was one.
And really with a team that couldn't afford it, because they're in a heck of a race with the Tennessee Titans in the AFC South, and the Titans are really hot right now. You would think that a team at this level could handle prosperity a little bit, and that's what I mean by beating New England. They didn't handle it well at all. In fact, their head coach, Bill O'Brien, he took the blame squarely on his shoulders and said, I didn't have my team ready to play.
A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
First down, a run with Hyde. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. On 2nd and 11 now. Watson, man open, that's Kiki QT, complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
They'll run on first down. Hyde. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. And movement here by one of the Texans up front. In comes the flag. And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Following the penalty, it's Hyde. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Back to throw, Watson. He's going to loft one, deep left side here. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Adam Humphries deep for the Titans. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays for one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. Tannehill now to throw, and the grab made by the tight end Pruitt. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Derrick Henry. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. Under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Here's Brett Kern now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. On the return, Carter. And Hill running right through it. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Check, 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 check.
Here's Hyde as they begin on the ground. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the 1st down, even throwing the football.
Here's Brian Anger now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Out of the gun, Tannehill. It's brought in by Adam Humphries. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And some room to roam now. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. A little costly there. You wipe out the 1st down. You also move further back.
No doubt about it. So you went from moving the sticks to them staying in the same spot, except for that one guy carrying the yard marker. He moves back farther.
8, read. Let's go, D. Ready?
After the penalty, it's Henry. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47. These two teams all tied after 1. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Quit talking about it and bring it.
5.
Throwing quickly, that's caught by Brown out wide. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
Yeah, if you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
Now Tannehill. He finds Humphreys. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. So 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 37-yard line. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Former Buckeye first-rounder Garyon Conley there to knock that away.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
On 2nd and 10. Tannehill. This will be caught by Brown. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. A little bit of space there for the 1st down run as that's going to get him about 5 yards. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Watch the screen. Pass. 41.
Here's Tannehill. That is caught. It's Tajay Sharp. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
It's an 11-yard pickup. Thought they'd run it on 3rd and 1. Not the case. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
Set, ready? 10 Lobo.
Check tight. Check tight. Check tight.
Light. Get it.
They'll try and run for it with Henry. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
So 2nd and goal, and the big man Henry alone in the backfield.
Put up.
41. Check pass. Check pass.
Now.
He's going to get it running right. And he will take this one in for a Titans touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Titans have taken the lead. And there the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense, get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
Suck up for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And Derrick Henry able to finish it off with a touchdown run. Now it's Ryan Suckup on after the touchdown to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now Carlos Hyde gears up to take the field again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. I'm going to have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Here we go.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And this would complete to Will Fuller. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 42.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a 1st down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Watson now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down. Watson now to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Here's Watson. He'll buy some, and he's going to go down again. Kamale Correa in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. 3rd and long, it's Watson. He finds Hopkins complete. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is. A 55-yard attempt, normally you'd say well within his range. A little surprised he came up short.
And he knew it immediately, didn't he? They are so calibrated, aren't they? They can tell the touch, the feel. When they put the foot to the ball, whether it's going to be good or not, he knew immediately he didn't have that one.
And we spotlight Derrick Henry now. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive maybe. Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. On 1st down, it's Tannehill. It's caught. Humphries. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Ready up.
41 Mike.
Ready.
On 1st and 10, Tannehill. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Here we go. Set. 10-2 stop.
Check 41. Target.
5.
Now a play fake, and it's Tannehill. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
The Titans on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. To throw is Tannehill. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Disaster there, resulting in a loss of 7 on 3rd down.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away.
We got this.
And And let's look at Carlos Hyde now. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game. Probably something they need to do more of here, losing in the second quarter.
When you're riding your best horse, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 26. From the gun, here's Watson. Rolling to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Check, box 54, box 54. Drop deep. Right there.
Here's Hyde on the draw. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun. Watson sliding out of the pocket. He may try and run for this. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Let's go.
Under the category of obvious, you hate giving up a 1st down on 3rd and long. And somehow he finds his way downfield and picks it up.
If you look at the coverage defensively, oh, this is great, but no one accounted for him at the quarterback spot.
At some point, you actually have to tackle him and get him on the ground short of the 1st down marker.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Watch the screen.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. That's good for a Texan 1st down, a 12-yard pickup.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Rolling to his left. Now he'll pull it down. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Watson. He finds his man Johnson. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. His throw incomplete. He was trying to get that one to Kenny Stills, and it's 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. To throw is Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A 14-yard touchdown. As they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
And on this play, he just made a great route. The quarterback had to deliver it, sure, but a great route run there.
And, Brandon, this is what the best receivers do. They work on their route running because it's one thing to have athletic ability, but to really get open, you have to set up defensive backs with different routes and be precise in your cuts.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So that drive in total 8 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first-half highlights and analysis from a back-and-forth first half that we've seen. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On first down, Tannehill. He'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Titans moving quickly here. They're in the hurry up. Looking to throw again on second down. Tannehill. Corey Davis, the intended receiver. And it's third down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Tannehill throwing again, and that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Here's Brett Kern now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. A couple completions, you string them together, could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
Set. 19. 55. Double dog. That's the way.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. All right, CD, let's take a step back. Look at the AFC playoff picture with just 3 weeks to go. Hard to believe. Essentially, I think it's 7 teams for 6 spots right now. The Ravens are in, looking good for the number 1 seed at 11-2, essentially with a 2-game lead over the 10-3 Pats, who they beat in Week 9. Then what we got? Chiefs in the West leading right now. Texans currently ahead in the AFC South. How about that wild card picture?
Yeah, how about Buffalo? They had a tough loss at home to Baltimore, but boy, they're playing awfully well. And guess what? They go to New England next week. That game could have big ramifications. And the Steelers, how are they 8-5 on their 3rd, maybe essentially 4th quarterback of the year since they traded Josh Dobbs in preseason? Incredible job Mike Tomlin has done as the head coach there. But the team to keep an eye out for in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans. They are hot right now, 8-5, and running the heck out of the football with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mentioned the Texans currently holding the AFC South lead, but they also have that 8-5 record. It's going to be close down the stretch. Watson now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a first down. Again, it's Watson. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. They were searching for the tight end, Darren Fells. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. The final shot before the break. Watson, he'll run it. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So we've hit halftime all even at 14 apiece. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now out comes Houston. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You've got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 26. A pretty good-looking run there on first down. That'll go for 9 yards, just short of the line to gain. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. False start there. That will set the offense back 5 yards.
Brandon, the lineman, certainly flinched there before the snap. A good call.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still second down.
A bad false start penalty there. Now second and 6. Watson. And a catch made by Hopkins. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Watson operating from the gun. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Well, as we hit the home stretch of the regular season, just 3 weeks left. Let's look at the slate for Week 15, some of the more intriguing games. Houston and Tennessee, that's a big one in the AFC South. Rams going to Dallas. Buffalo at Pittsburgh, that's a Sunday night game. And then Charles Davis, he'll be taking his parka to the frozen tundra. You've got Chicago at Green Bay this week.
Certainly do, and I'll take a heck of a lot more than just my parka. I will look like Bib the Michelin Man when it's all said and done. I will be bundled to the gills. A high of 27 expected at kickoff. But let's face it, how much fun will that be? Another historic Bears-Packers game, and a game where the Bears have to have it, and the Packers trying to hold on to the number 2 seed. Houston at Tennessee, so intriguing. Houston just got jumped on by Denver. But these teams will meet twice in the last 3 weeks. A division title may be at stake. The Rams have to win. Dallas can actually afford a loss and still win their division, which sounds crazy. And Buffalo needs a big victory in order to make that New England game possibly mean a division crown. That's going to be fun when they go to Pittsburgh.
So a stop here defensively to start this third quarter. Just what's needed in a tie ball game.
Yeah, good chance to build back some momentum on the defensive side of the ball. In fact, what they've done is give their offense a nice push in the back as they get ready to take the field.
Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Moving backwards on first down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on second down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
I got you, son. I got you, son.
Now.
A second down run with Lewis. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here's Brett Kern now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here comes Carter. 51 yards on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the third quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive. They start the drive with Hyde, and he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. A shotgun snap for Watson. Finding fouls complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Watson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now a run with Hyde. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. And he gets it just shy of midfield, but that's not enough. He's short of the marker. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Houston. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Now the Titans getting set to go. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 18.
Ready?
From the gun, here's Tannehill. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Well, folks, we gave you a glance at the AFC playoff picture. Let's talk NFC playoff picture. Bit of a shakeup because the Niners and the Saints game and then the Seahawks and the Rams. So San Fran back up the top spot. Then you have the Packers who beat Washington moving up to number 2. The Saints with the loss, try to follow all this. They drop down the spot. But it's a critical one as they lose that first-round bye, and then we're still awaiting resolution on the Cowboys and the Eagles in the NFC East, CD.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy deal because essentially San Francisco and Seattle have kind of been trading back and forth. And after Sunday night's games, San Francisco holds that spot. But remember, those two play Week 17. It could all be decided then. The Saints have already locked down the NFC South. They're trying to get one of those top 2 seeds, as you mentioned. But the race for these wild cards, Minnesota sitting right there holding the number 6 spot. They're a game ahead of the Rams, who are really hot right now. And the Bears, after whacking the Cowboys last week, they're hanging in there as well.
But as you're alluding to, I mean, Seattle drops from the number 1 seed all the way down to the number 5 seed in one day. Of course, a lot can change in the final 3 weeks.
And just think, a lot of people wondering, how does the NFC East get a home game by winning that division? This is going to be one of those years people will talk about reseeding based on absolute overall record.
Yeah, because it's not out of the question that either the 49ers or the Seahawks could be 13-3 and be a wild card team. From the 50, it's Tannehill. And he finds Corey Davis. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Set. 10 logo.
Let's go, defense. Our time. It's our time.
Shoot.
A first down carry for Henry. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. A draw play here. Lewis. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
18 Gator.
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. Under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
So on 4th down, here's the Tennessee field goal unit led by Ryan Succo. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. And this one is right down the middle. And they take a 17-14 lead. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent, that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Suckup now, set to kick it off following the made field goal. This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Set to take over again, Deshaun Watson and this Texans offense. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. On first down, high. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Watson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Watson. And his throw here is incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Here's High. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there.
Mike, this is set. 19. Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. He's got Fuller. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Texans have retaken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. It's up and good to make it 21-17. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Derrick Henry trots back out there and gets ready to go. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments. And you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 26. Back to throw, Tannehill. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed. Always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Tannehill. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Tannehill. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They'll run on 1st down. Hyde. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan 1st down. That run's successful in large part because they had a lot of extra help blocking up front.
Yeah, you've got guys who can do that very, very well. In addition, they can catch the football. So sometimes when they line up with 3 tight ends, it's not necessarily to run it, and that gives you an advantage when you do decide to barrel off the line of scrimmage and block people downfield.
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Tighten up, pull together.
On 2nd and 9, Watson, and his throw's going to be incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. They'll roll it, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Kamale Correa picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. Here's Brian Anger now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. Out come the Titans now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They begin with Henry. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Shotgun handoff for Lewis. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The Titans on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Tannehill. And this one complete to Smith. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the 1st.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a 1st down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 23. Another tote for the afternoon workhorse. It's high. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. He stayed afloat for a second there after the first wave of contact, but that was going nowhere.
Yeah, what did he tell us in pregame? I just don't want to get my feet stopped initially when I'm trying to make a run. That's exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, as you noted, got away a little bit from the first one, but the wave swarmed him under.
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and that'll make it 3rd down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
He's letting this one go for Fuller. It's caught inside the 25. Watson hitting Fuller with a big one, 57 yards.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. From the gun, here's Watson. He's going to take off with it. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
To throw again on 2nd down. Watson escaping the pressure right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Jayon Brown able to get him for a loss of about 3.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
To throw is Watson on 3rd down. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position. But it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 24. Tannehill. It's caught. Humphreys. 1st down, Titans, gain of 12. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
You ain't doing nothing.
Play action, it's Tannehill. Completes it to Davis. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Now it's Tannehill. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Tannehill. That is caught. It's Tajay Sharp. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Titans on 3rd down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. Here it's 3rd and 3. And that's complete to Lewis. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Draw play. This is Henry. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Again, it's Henry. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Now Tannehill. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Here we go on fourth. Tannehill. And that is incomplete. The Titans try it, but ultimately they fail on fourth down. And this Texans defense stands tall. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Now a look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. When you're in a zone like he is, what's the conversation like on the sideline between he and his quarterback? Is that a one-way conversation of, hey, just keep getting me the football?
It actually is probably a two-way conversation because he wants to keep getting him the football because he's seeing the payoff. You know, getting the ball to that guy means yardage, and as we've seen, touchdowns in this game. So I think both of them get more and more excited about the possibilities as things continue on.
Yeah, so far it's been over 100 yards and the 2 scores. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Set 70, Indy. They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. Ready?
After the interception, here's Tannehill. He gets it to Humphries.
Hey, Jack.
That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Ready.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To throw is Tannehill. It's caught by Davis. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Ready. We're going to wedge that out. Get that quarterback. And off. Go. Hey, 4-1 Mike. You lost.
They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football.
Here we go. Set. 30 base.
They keep it with Henry on first down. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Derrick Henry with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. Nice execution there. Good job by the O-line getting him in for the 2nd time.
And you always have to start with credit there when you're having a big game. I mean, you don't get there by yourself. That's rare. But how about the ability to see the proper holes, pick the proper place to go, and find his way into the end zone?
A very important extra point there, up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. Nothing separating these two sides. 24 all our score as he sends this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense trot back out there. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now. So you're not protecting a lead. So you're not playing that way. You've got to go get the lead again. So maybe it loosens him up a little bit and allows him to go ahead and be a little more free in his play.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 23. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He finds Hopkins complete. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
65.
Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
All right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Brian Anger now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Titan football. Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 22. Henry will get it. He's been busy today. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. They'll run it again with Henry. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Tannehill. This will be caught by Brown. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Here's Tannehill. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Got it.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Here's a quick throw out wide to Humphries. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no yardage.
Okay.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Got him in. It's Brown. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 40. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. On 1st down, it's Henry, and he's going to get this inside the 30. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Here we go. 18 Gator. 5.
Now Lewis here on 1st down. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Break. We got to wedge that out.
Time to go right now.
2 times.
You got 3 down.
Ready.
A 20th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Ready.
Oh, yeah. And here we go again.
Please dribble.
They'll keep it on the ground. Henry fighting for the marker, but I don't think he got there. He did not. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So some pressure now on the kicker, Ryan Succop. This for the lead in the final stages. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they manage the clock exactly right.
Succop now set to kick it off following the made field goal. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Watson and the Texans now. down 27-24. A minute 15 remaining. They need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw. Johnson's got it complete.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Watson. And the catch made by Hopkins. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a 1st down. Huge 1st down, got to hurry.
Yeah, now they have to get up there, get set, and then spike it.
1st down now, but the clock continues to move.
55, come on, God, 55. Heavy on the edges, heavy.
Watson. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The 305-pound defensive end, Jarrell Casey, gets the sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Watson trying to get his guys moving. He's back to throw. He gets this one to Johnson. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go. We're set. 19. 54.
Let's go, D.
Now it's Watson. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The sack by Harold Landry, the former Boston College Eagle. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it, because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Titans are winners here as we say so long from Nashville.